It all began when Venezuelan defense officials announced an alarming discovery. Their radar operators picked up 5 high-altitude contacts, aircraft moving fast, flying at 35,000 feet and heading near Venezuelan airspace. The signature, according to Caracas, unmistakable, F-35 stealth fighters. A ghost in the Caribbean skies. A stealth fighter worth billions. It flies unseen, strikes without warning, designed to vanish from enemy radars. A geopolitical enemy's backyard. Venezuela claims America's most advanced stealth fighter, the F-35, has been caught near its borders. Was it a show of force, a secret mission, or a step towards something bigger? High above the Caribbean, a shadow appeared on Venezuelan radars. The world's most advanced stealth fighter, the US F-35. Caracas calls it a violation, Washington calls it routine. But behind the headlines lies a dangerous game of cat and mouse, one that could decide the balance of power in the Americas. Was Venezuela's claim just propaganda? Or was the F-35 really caught where it shouldn't be? How did the world's most advanced stealth fighter jet become Venezuela's most dangerous trophy? Invisible, untouchable, unstoppable, until it landed in enemy hands. The inside story of how America's $100 million stealth fighter, the F-35, got caught in Venezuela. In Caracas, alarms are raised. Officials rush to verify the data. Civilian air traffic controllers report the same anomaly. Even a nearby airliner confirms it saw something unusual. For decades, the skies over Latin America have been a silent battlefield, where radar signals, jet engines, and political messages collide. Venezuela, rich in oil but isolated by sanctions, finds itself under constant pressure from Washington. Every military flight near its shores feels like a test, a challenge, a warning. Could it be true? Could Venezuela's radars have spotted what was never meant to be seen? But here's the catch. The jets were said to be about 75 kilometers offshore. That's beyond Venezuela's legal airspace. So why call it an incursion? Because for Caracas, the presence of America's most advanced warplanes so close to their territory is not routine. It's a warning. The rising question is, how does a stealthy fighter jet like the F-35, engineered to be a phantom in the sky, suddenly appear on Venezuela's radar screens? Was it a flaw in the technology, a masterstroke of Venezuelan detection, or simply the limits of stealth itself being exposed? The F-35, a machine designed to vanish, somehow became visible, raising doubts, suspicions, and endless theories. The answer is more fascinating. Stealth doesn't mean invisible. It means harder to see. Traditional radars struggle against the F-35, but newer, more unconventional methods can sometimes find what hides in the shadows. Stealth isn't a magic. It's engineering. The F-35 bends radar waves, hides its heat, and blends with the sky. But no aircraft is truly invisible. Think of stealth like camouflage. It tricks the eye, or in this case, the radar. But if you use the right tools, look from a different angle, or combine multiple sensors, even the invisible can be found. Venezuela claims its detection was not a single radar miracle, but a networked effort. Military long-range radar, civilian air traffic control, and even reports from a passing airliner all converged. Alone, each system sees only fragments. Together, they create the full picture. Older, low-frequency radars, often called decimeter or meter band systems, can detect objects that modern stealth designs struggle to hide from. They don't give sharp details, but they whisper, something is out there. Meanwhile, infrared search and track systems, which detect heat instead of radio waves, can catch the F-35's engines glowing against the cool upper atmosphere. Even passive detection, listening instead of sending signals, can betray stealth. A fighter jet may be silent on radar, but its data links, its emissions, and even the disturbance it creates in the air can leave a trace. In modern warfare, detection isn't about one radar screen. It's about fusion, combining scraps of data from multiple sources until the invisible becomes visible. So, if Venezuela truly saw the F-35, it wasn't because the jet failed. It was because the hunters changed the way they looked. Track where it should be. Patterns cracked the stealth code. But why here? Why now? The U.S. recently deployed F-35s to Puerto Rico, citing anti-drug operations. Yet Venezuela sees this as part of a larger strategy: pressure on a government already under sanctions, already isolated on the world stage. For Washington, it's about maintaining dominance in the hemisphere. For Caracas, it's survival, and proving they can challenge the world's most powerful military. This encounter was never just about radar blips and flight paths. It's about power, about who controls the skies, and the message that control sends to the world. For the United States, deploying F-35s to the Caribbean wasn't only about fighting drug trafficking, as the official line goes. It was also about presence, visibility, showing Washington can put its most advanced aircraft just outside Venezuela's doorstep. For Venezuela, struggling under sanctions and isolation, the claim of detecting the F-35 is more than military news. It's a statement of defiance, proof to its people that it can challenge the giant to the north. Latin America has long been a stage where influence is contested. In the Cold War, it was missiles in Cuba. Today, it's stealth fighters in the Caribbean. Behind the radar screens lies a clash of narratives, one of dominance, one of resistance. Each side needs the story to serve its purpose. For Washington, the F-35 is untouchable. For Caracas, exposing it means survival. But the real story isn't about one night's detection. It's about a shifting balance of power, where technology, politics, and perception are just as important as weapons themselves. And that raises the most dangerous question of all: if the skies are already contested, what happens when a line is finally crossed? Did Venezuela really expose the invisible, or was it a masterstroke of propaganda, a story too powerful to ignore? The truth is, proving a stealth detection isn't simple. Radar images can be vague, signals can be misread, and what looks like an F-35 could, in theory, be something else entirely. Washington stays silent, no denial, no confirmation. And in silence, speculation grows louder. For Venezuela, the claim itself is a victory. By announcing it, they project strength. They tell their people, we are not blind, we are not weak, we can see even what the Americans try to hide. For the United States, the strategy is different. Why respond? Why validate the claim? Sometimes, the most powerful move is to say nothing at all. The narrative becomes the battlefield. One side says, we caught you, the other side shrugs, leaving the world to wonder who holds the upper hand. But here lies the danger. When truth and propaganda mix, perception can become reality. And in geopolitics, perception is sometimes more powerful than fact. If Venezuela's claim was real, it shows the limits of stealth. If it was false, it shows the power of storytelling. Either way, both sides win, one with technology, the other with narrative. Caught or not, the story of the F-35 in Venezuelan skies reveals more than radar contacts. It reveals the fragile balance of power in a region where technology, politics, and perception collide. Stealth was supposed to be absolute, untouchable. But the very fact that Venezuela claimed detection shows us a new truth. No weapon is perfect, no technology invincible, and no nation beyond challenge. For Washington, the F-35 remains a symbol of dominance. For Caracas, detecting it, or claiming to, is a symbol of resistance. And for the world, it's a reminder that even the quietest shadows can trigger the loudest echoes. This wasn't just a military encounter. It was a psychological one. A battle of narratives fought not only in the skies, but in the minds of millions watching from below. The bigger question isn't whether the jet was there, but what happens next. If stealth can be pierced, what else can be challenged? And if perception becomes reality, how close are we to the next confrontation? Subscribe.